All right, here's one of those really cool, rare pictures you'll probably never see again. I'd spent some time in Haifa, Israel during my Navy days, and while I was on tour going to Jerusalem, we stopped at this spot overlooking Jerusalem to take pictures, standard tour bus crap. And right next to us pulls up this military bus. Now, for those of you who don't know, in Israel, young folk between 18 and 20 for 2 years are required to either be in the military or go to jail, which I think sounds pretty reasonable to me. But this bus stops, and it turns out to basically be this bus full of hot Israeli chick soldiers. And they all came out, and of course they liked Americans, and so we got out and we were hanging with them, and they let us take this picture. I am, of course, really easy to spot. I'm the only blonde-headed guy in the group. Oh, and the only guy not wearing green stuff. Yeah. Well, I was over in La Maddalena, Italy. They have this giant rock that's been shaped by the elements. You can see La Maddalena behind me. They have this giant rock that looks like a big bear. And, of course, you can only see, like, the head and the front foot here. I mean, it's just... You can see how small I am in comparison to it, which is a testament to just how big it is. But this is one of those cool things where I don't even remember I had this picture kicking around. I was pretty young back then. This was before we had good screen capture software and all that other good stuff. I wanted to take a picture of my original game for the Amiga called Psycho Squares. And here it is. A very badly taken picture. And you can actually see me taking the very bad picture behind me. It's good stuff. Good stuff. The golden age of computing. Here's my Amiga 500 with hard drive, with SideQuest drive. I mean, this is one of those pictures you're going to want to look at the real picture, not this video picture, but I have a real high quality picture. Go in there and take a look and see how many cool archaic things you can find in here. Some things are really interesting, like you can see a SideQuest drive, those big cartridges that held like 80 gigs of space. Very cool. Or I'm sorry, megabytes of space back then. You can see my optical mouse. That's something you don't see. You see a fully set up Commodore 64. Well, there's all sorts of good stuff if you look through this picture. It's great. Here's me horking my wares and doing what I called Amiga public service work. They had a flea market in Charleston, South Carolina, and basically what I would do is I would set up a booth. It cost me $10 for the whole week, and I'd set up a booth. I'd set up a video camera, which you can see here, and I'd set up my Amiga and everything, and I would basically be showing off how cool the Amiga was. I would also sell like public domain discs, things like that, while I was there at the show. And of course, my Amiga games and things like that. But the cool thing was I had a piece of software called Morph. And in the early days, long before you saw this stuff at malls and in kiosks, I would have a pregnant couple come over and let me shoot a profile shot of them. And I would take their headshots and morph them 50% in between. And I would give them an idea what their unborn child might look like. People loved it. I probably should have charged for it. I would have made a lot more money. And last but not least, the Virtuality. This was one of the original, shall we say, virtual reality games that came out. And it was all driven off the Amiga 3000, which is, of course, why it was of interest to me. And I had to go in and try it out. It was actually fairly cool. And this is one of those rare pictures of me in the old days, along with a fairly rare picture of the old Virtuality pod. Hope you enjoyed the pictures.